I'm Ken Bianco Jr. and welcome to TrainWorldTV. We have Ed Wilson from NCE. Thank you very much for stopping by. And my father, Ken Sr. And basically all day today, we're learning about NCE 101, DCC demonstrations, how to get you started in NCE and DCC. And, you know, it's a DCC day. It's a DCC world. So make sure you stay tuned. TrainWorld.com, shop for all your NCE products. Now, Ed, this power cab, this is probably the best seller for NCE. This is your bread and butter. And Ed was actually telling me over 70,000 units sold. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's unbelievable. So why is this unit so popular?
It's very easy to operate. It's very easy to hook up. 10 minutes, you can hook up. You know, it's 2 wires to the track. The menus are in plain English.
Right.
As far as what comes with the set, so you've got the power supply, the power cab itself, the panel, the flat cable, and an extra cable for when you're using it with a bigger system.
That's great. Now, let's say if we're getting into DCC, would this be their first product they should really look into?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And how would they go about setting it up? Is it easy?
It's extremely easy. So what you get, again, from like the side of the package, so what you get is you get the panel.
Yes, in the middle. Give me 1 second. Just going through this real quick.
You get the power cab,
Within the store.
flat cable, and you get a small, what looks like almost like a cell phone charger.
Okay.
About that big, very small. Here, see that there?
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. And then it's just 2 wires to the track, goes onto the back of the panel. So here's your connections. This goes to your wall transformer. This goes to your track. You're going to look at this from the front. So with the LED on the bottom, you're going to plug the power cab in with the flat cable on the left side. And then 2 wires to the track. And that's it.
All right. So basically, you're pretty much ready to roll. And if you have a DCC equipped locomotive, you know, you put it on the track. And then how easy is it for the consumer to work your power cab?
Right, okay, so if you look over here, follow my finger. So we're going to plug this in here. We're going to wait for the red light to come on. Okay, so assuming you have a DCC equipped locomotive on the tracks, what you're going to do is you're going to wait for the regular locomotive screen to come up. So you're going to see LOC, and here's your forward. So you're going to hit Select Loco, 3, Enter, and that's it. And we get that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really simple.
So it's pretty much ready to run.
It absolutely is, yeah. As long as you've got a DCC equipped locomotive, the standard is locomotive address 3, so you can go right out of the box right onto the tracks. 2 wires. 10 minutes roughly to hook everything up. Actually, even less than that if it's a DCC equipped locomotive.
Wow. Now, you know, Ed obviously, he's been selling these for a long time now, and we also do sell these units, and they have been one of the best DCC systems. You know, everybody seems to be loving your units. So definitely go shop online, TrainWorld.com, for all your NCE products. And if you're just getting into DCC, definitely take a look at the power cab. So now, Ed, you know, a lot of people, you know, sometimes they have a problem where their locomotive is not responding, or perhaps they did something with the values and kind of messed it all up.
Right.
You know, what do they do? When in doubt,
wipe it out.
Okay, so how does someone go about correcting their issues if they had something or did something with their locomotive, or perhaps it's not responding?
All right. So if it's a DCC equipped locomotive, what you could do is you can reset any decoder to the factory settings. You don't really even have to know the manufacturer, as long as you think that the decoder is functioning, and then you can reset the factory settings.
Okay. So let's zoom in on the power cab.
All right. So come in here, take a look. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. First thing you want to make sure of is that it's the only locomotive on the tracks. Take everybody else off. Okay? Then you're going to hit Program and then 4. So see, that puts you in program track mode. It says use program track, right? So then you're going to hit Enter. All right. Now, you see this part of the menu, but there's actually more options that you don't see. So when you see this screen, this is 1 for standard, 2 for CV, 3 for reg. We're actually not going to use any of those. We're going to use option 7, which you don't see. But what option 7 is, recovery program. So what this is going to do is it's going to manually reset every CV value in the locomotive to factory settings, regardless of what has happened so far. So we're going to press 1 for yes. And as you can see, it's going through each one of the CVs in the locomotive and it's resetting them to factory settings. Now, this is N scale. As you can see, it's pulsing, but what it's actually doing is it's resetting every CV. Every time it pulses, it's telling you that I have just reset a CV. So, when we come back over here, when it's done, it'll look just like that. So then we're done. Now, to get back out to your regular screen, you're going to hit the escape key. So now you're back to that. Now, if the locomotive has been reset to factory settings, again, going back to what we said earlier, the factory address for everybody is loco address 3. So, if it has been reset correctly, then what you should be able to do is hit select loco 3 and then enter, and then you should be able to control the locomotive just like that.
Wow.
Now, the only caution to this is there are some locomotives that you have to do certain things to after you reset them.
Right.
Okay. So in some cases, the decoder in the locomotive is like a computer.
Right.
Okay. So what you have to do is you have to reboot it. Okay. So in some cases, if that didn't work, what you would do is you would simply just kill the power to the power cab.
Okay.
Okay. And then plug it back in, and then try the select loco 3 again.
Okay.
And see if that responded. If that doesn't work, you'd have to dig a little bit deeper into the specific manufacturers and maybe there are some manufacturers that may not respond to that.
Right. Right.
So that would be a point where you would call me, and we would go through it together, and I would, we'd try to do it over the phone, and we would try to manually reset it.
But most of the times, it's not that a customer has a bad unit per se, it's just readdressing and relocating the locomotive.
Yeah, it's more often than not, when someone thinks it's, especially with a DCC equipped locomotive, it's not really the locomotive, it's just that the decoder is confused, maybe you inadvertently pressed the wrong button at the wrong time.
Correct.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens to everybody. So that's what the factory reset is for.
Yep. And that's a great way to, as just a quick troubleshoot. But NCE has a lot of great tools on the website. Lots of brochures, pamphlets, instructions. They have great tech support. It is always available. And again, this is a great system if you're looking to just start out, or even if you're more advanced. NCE carries it all. So be sure you go to TrainWorld.com, shop online for all your NCE products. Thank you so much for coming in today, Ed.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, Ed, so I got the power cab. I'm hot and heavy into DCC. I'm getting used to it. I'm, running all the locomotives. I'm getting used to the power cab. Now, where do I go from there? I want to get into DCC.
Okay, so after you've got the power cab up and running, you've got to basically ask yourself 2 questions. What do I want to do next? Do I need more capacity? Do I want to go wireless? What are my goals?
Okay.
Okay. So if you want more locomotive capacity, so to recap, the initial power cab system is a 2 amp system.
Okay.
And for 2 amps, what we normally assume is with HO scale, somewhere between 2 and 4 locomotives. And for N scale, we're looking somewhere between 4 and 8 locomotives. Okay, so if you need more capacity, after the power cab, you would go with the SB5 Smart Booster. This is a 5 amp booster, comes with its own power supply. So with 5 amps in HO scale, you're looking at roughly capacity of 10 locomotives. And that's actually the amount of locomotives running. When we speak in terms of DCC capacity, we don't really count the locomotives that are parked because they don't draw anything.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, if you need more capacity after your initial power cab, you would get the SB5 Smart Booster.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, if you don't need any more capacity, but you want a little bit more freedom, you want to do, say, like you want to do wireless.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, as far as what you have now, so what you're going to do is you're going to leave the power cab plugged in.
Right.
Okay. You're going to take and you're going to purchase an RBO2. This is the radio base station. All right. So then what you're going to do is then you're basically going to plug in your RBO2 radio base station to your panel, and you could either plug it in on the front or on the back, doesn't matter. And then as long as you've got a radio equipped cab, NCE cab, that's pretty much all you need.
Now, something we were working on before, we had 2 N-scale engines at the same time. I was using the regular power cab.
Right.
And you had the wireless.
Right.
And, you know, so you could invite your friends over, or perhaps your wife, girlfriend,
Yeah.
and, you know, both of you could be operating at the same time.
That's
using
correct.
the same system.
Right. So with the power cab running the trains, you can have up to 4 cabs.
Okay.
So the power cab is its own cab. That leaves you 3. So you could actually have 3 of these.
Wow.
You know, and they could be wireless if you wanted to be.
Right.
Or you could have them plugged in.
Wired. Gotcha.
But yeah, you can absolutely have 3 additional cabs.
That's great. So for NCE, there's everything possible. So if you're looking to get in, you know, there's the power cab, and if you're looking to go more advanced, there's plenty of other options. And again, Ed, thank you very much for coming in today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.